Hey folks, Fernando doing another video for More Survivalists, and in this case, analyzing some of the things Sandy Cortez here is saying regarding how she thinks Latinos should be relabeled. Let's listen.
Some of these folks that another person's identity is not about your re-election prospects. Like, this is not about you.
Nothing is as sad as watching someone of limited intellectual capacity think that she's actually smarter than she actually is. It's very sad and pathetic.
Second of all, if putting a little X on your campaign literature is what you think is the difference between winning or losing an election, you need to talk about healthcare more. You need to raise people's wages. You need to talk about more issues that also matter to people. That being said, why are people opting for trying to use Latina over Latinx?
No one is trying to do that. At least no Latino is trying to do that ever in history, and it's not going to be happening in spite of what Ocasio-Cortez pushes unpopular Latinx term. And this is from Latino groups want to do away with Latinx. Elected officials, a major newspaper, and the oldest Latino civil rights organization in the U.S. have all spoken out strongly in recent weeks against the continued use of Latinx, the gender-neutral term promoted by progressives to describe people of Spanish-speaking origin. Why it matters? The pushback highlights some generational, class, and regional divisions among Latinos. As their numbers and influence grows in the U.S., it also reflects a movement by some Latinos who define themselves rather than be labeled by predominantly white, progressive, and Latino academics who advocate for using the term. It is a woke term, and you know what is even worse? Because there's woke Latinos, I guess. If you look around, you'll find them. It's not as bad as it is in the United States. Don't confuse yourself regarding that. But even if you find someone of, someone with a mental problem, someone with a certain condition, as, you see a lot of those these days, even them will say, even like someone that, a man that dresses up like a woman, he will probably say, no, I'm a Latina. He will consider himself like a woman, right? So it's double bad because it's not only just a woke term, it's an American woke term. It's something that's being imposed from the United States by people like Sandy here, who is a New Yorker. She's an American. She's second generation American. So she's not born in Latin America herself. She has no shared cultural experience of being a Latina herself, and she barely speaks the language. She speaks like a little child. She speaks so poorly, it's sad to watch. I mean, good effort there, but she definitely did not learn that in her household. Sandy Cortez was raised as a typical American that did not speak a word of Spanish in that household. If not, she wouldn't make the horrible basic mistakes she makes all the time while trying to speak Spanish. So yes, we understand her, just like we understand any other American that learns Spanish as an adult. That's fine. Now, the idea that you have a right to label everyone else, best example would be, let's say I get into the Sandy position here and I go like, well, America is really a continent, so you guys, you shouldn't be calling yourselves Americans. Maybe North Americans, but even that would include Canada. No, you have to call yourselves United Stations, because that's what really represents you. You would be thinking, well, go fuck yourself. That's, you're not the boss of me. You have no right to do any of that. And for someone making such idiotic claims, you just ignore them. Now, when someone like that has an increasing position of power, like it's in the case of Sandy, that's taking more and more seriously as her power grows. And it gets to a point where you will have people very upset with that, which is already happening, as so many articles reflect that. Look at this one. Latinx used by just 3% of U.S. Hispanics. And it's, even Latinx hasn't even caught among Latinos. It never will. This is the kind of thing that I'm talking about. It is extremely insulting to have an American trying to relabel you as, something you're not. She has no, it is so tone deaf in how pedantic she is and doesn't even realize it, apparently. So, that's my take on good old Sandy here. Stick to what you do in New York or whatever the hell it is. You have no idea of what being a Latino is. And by the way, Latino includes everything. Everything is in Latino. It's a man, a woman, a damn dog, someone that dresses up like a man, someone that dresses, a woman that dresses up like a man that dresses up like a woman and pretends to be one. That's all, all included already. The universal, all-encompassing term, it's Latino. The only exclusion to be, in that case, would be if you have a group of women, then yes, you would go with Latinas, which is the word used for that specific case. But you already have a word that includes all of the universe of Latinos, which is Latino. That's the only way you go. And to have someone, artificially trying to impose something like this to relabel you, it's pretty offensive, and it's kind of stupid as well. Imagine like, a black guy, an African American going, has no idea of anything regarding African cultures. He just decides, well, look at my skin, so I'm now going to be deciding that you guys over there, I have no clue what your life is all about, but you will now be called the southern people of the planet, or whatever bullshit term you want to invent, just because it's going to be giving you a false sense of pride and a matter of pure egocentric perspective and nothing more than that. Guys, if you want to prepare for what people like good old Sandy Cortez here will eventually end up causing the breakdown of society and the madness you'll see after that, you want to get a copy of Street Survival Skills, my book, and for the economic destruction caused by commies like Sandy, Surviving the Economic Collapse. Both of those available in the links below there in Amazon. Take care. Have an awesome day.